What up? What up? We got Pop Lock and Pastor Jeff over here on a Sunday night.
Do the wave.
We got to keep up.
Why you ain't do the wave, man? Come on, man. Yeah,
My bad.
What's happening, y'all?
What's happening? Welcome,
How y'all doing?
To Religiously Incorrect Podcast. Tap in, say hi. We see you lurking. We know who you are. We got you, all you bishops and apostles out there watching.
We got that back page.
We got that back end. Wait, we can know about back page.
I mean, I'm just the one.
Jeff would bring up back page at the top of the show.
I'm talking about the one where we can see who's actually watching.
Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are, Pastor Jeff. In tomorrow's news, local pastor picked up.
Listen, we are brought to you by High Street Fitness.
High Street Fitness
with Mike Phillips. In Cortland, Ohio. He-Man himself.
Get your body right. Get your body right.
Yeah,
man. This is another episode of Sunday Night Service.
Yes, sir.
I'm Pastor Todd.
I'm Pastor Jeff.
And you know how we roll here with Religiously Incorrect.
We get down with the get down.
We talk about the realness and
the raw, the uncut.
That's it. You know, we just bring it straight to your cranium.
Yes.
So say that.
I doubt it, but hey, we can bring it back. We'll bring it back.
80s hip hop language. But hey, make sure you like, share, tag, bring somebody in. We got a great show tonight, Pastor Jeff.
Man, it's gonna be powerful.
Because
I'm excited.
We get to talk with Pastor JJ Hairston. We had a special interview with Pastor JJ Hairston. We can't wait to share the interview with you and talk about his experiences as we get ready for Night of Hope coming up. But you know, it's November already, Pastor Jeff. We had daylight savings time last night.
Oh, I needed it, bro. I need it. Can you tell? I feel a little electrified.
He has more energy than I
It could be that soul food I just ate.
It could be that with Michelle Stevens. You got Michelle Stevens soul
great
food.
God of glory.
You know, here's the problem with, you know, daylight savings time and clock shifts and all that is we learn to adapt so bad. So, you know, they say that when, you know, it turns 2:00, it's going to shift back to 1, you know. So, you know, I was not sleepy. I had really watched a lot of football and kind of dozing off on Saturday watching football after the homegoing service I had to do. And so, you know, 1:00 came and I was still kind of up, you know, I was just kind of up. And 2:00 came and it shifted back to 1. I was like, all right, I'm good.
Well,
but then 2:00 came again. I'm like, oh, this is the real 2:00. I need to go to sleep.
This doesn't help. None of this matters to us old phobies. This helps when you at the club.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, you at the club and you getting down there like, last call for alcohol. Oh, hold up.
Right. Wait a minute. Rewind.
You there for another hour. Yeah, boy. We used to get it in.
I had like daylight savings time.
Saving time at the club.
Last call on the last call.
That was it right there.
I wouldn't know because I'm sanctified. I'm saved and filled with the Holy Ghost's precious gift.
Todd, you was the most unsaved. You was the most sanctified, unsaved person I know back in the day.
Says who? I was a sanctified sinner. So what? So what? Right. Yeah, yes, Pastor Jeff needs prayer after doing the monorail. That's correct.
After what?
Go ahead. The monorail.
That was not the monorail, Pastor Mark. That was the electric slide. I don't do the monorail. The electric slide. I'm old school.
I do the wobble.
I am old school.
I do the wobble. I do that one dance that all the ladies keep trying to learn on TikTok, the Tamiya dance.
Oh yeah, man, I can't do that.
Nobody can do.
Dude, I tried it. Oh my God, I about failed. They do so many twists and turns. I about tripped on my own feet.
My wife tried to get out there and couldn't get it. She just started speaking in tongues. Holy Ghost. She just got the Holy Ghost real quick. That's all she could muster. That's all she could do. But it's November, so daylight savings time has passed. Hey, how you doing, Jeanette? So that means that we are officially in Thanksgiving season.
Based upon the stores, we're in Christmas already.
Season. Yeah. So first of all, Thanksgiving gets the short shaft.
It does.
Thanksgiving gets the short shaft. There's basically no real Thanksgiving season. And here's the number one reason there's no real Thanksgiving season. Because there are no good Thanksgiving songs or shows or traditions besides everybody and their mama getting a free turkey. And I am at the point, Pastor Jeff, who is actually paying for turkeys at this point?
It makes no sense. I don't even like turkey, so it ain't me.
But I mean, we announced a giveaway. There are probably, here in Warren alone, I can count just by counting what I've seen on Facebook, not counting, probably at least 500 turkeys that will be given away in Warren alone.
Wow.
And I'm not making this, is not exaggerating, about 500 turkeys that will be given away in our little city alone. And that's just what I know about. That doesn't count what I don't know about. And it feels like turkey giveaways have joined school supply drives. Now we have trunk or treat. Who calls him Charles?
Charles Brown.
Charles Brown.
You know what, Todd? I'll tell you what. Let's make it 502. I'm giving away 2 turkeys at Progressive.
Giving away 2 turkeys.
Just 2 turkeys.
They're not even turkeys. They're actually little packs of Hillsdale Farms.
What are some other things called?
Nice turkey breast.
No. My
Cornish hen.
Cornish hens.
You giving away
I'm giving away Cornish hens.
Man, I'm giving away some KFC buckets of chicken. But so I said something today in church. I said, number one, I celebrate all the churches and organizations that are going to give away turkeys this year. And number two, please don't take any more turkeys than you actually need.
Man, please. As soon as they leave your church, they going down the street to the next church. People will get so many turkeys, they ain't even gonna make all them turkeys. They're gonna end up throwing the turkey away.
For Christmas, a turkey for Easter. It's like people are going overboard. And you know what? We're feeding it.
Let me know who giving away hams. I'm coming to get a ham. I'm gonna go get a ham.
Who's giving away a rack of ribs? let me know who's giving away a pot of green.
I need one of them hams from down at the mall. What's them good hams?
Them honey baked hams.
Honey baked hams. Yeah.
You got to take a mortgage out to buy.
Ain't even that good. I bought one year.
Good. They were good to us.
That was all right. That was all right. Yeah.
Man, but I had to take out like a mortgage to buy a honey baked ham. They were like, how would you like to finance your ham? Right. Listen, Pastor Barner. If they give away bologna rolls, I'm in. Listen.
Bologna rolls.
I feel like we need to mix it up and find out who is really needy.
Yeah.
We need to have like peanut butter and jelly sandwich giveaways. Fried bologna sandwich giveaways. I'm just saying, I think that would tell the tale.
Captain Crunch giveaways. Captain Crunch.
Hey, you don't even get the whole box. We just gonna pour some in your hand.
And you ain't getting the berries either. I'm keeping the berries.
You get Lucky Charms with no marshmallows. Wait, Pastor Barner got denied a turkey from Progressive. We've already gone off the rails today.
This is crazy.
But I have said it before, and I'll say it again. Need is an abused word.
It is.
I'm not saying that it's not good to be blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody could use a little help. Food's expensive.
It is. It's extremely expensive.
It's way up. Here's how we know food is expensive. We used to say that you need to save your money and stay at home and cook. That's what we used to say. Now it's more expensive to grocery shop and cook than it is to get pizzas and nuggets and stuff.
Wait a minute.
What?
Hey, the last time me and Todd went out to dinner.
Here we go.
We went someplace at 7:00, and at 9:00, and we sat there from 7:00 to 9:00, and at 9:00 they came out.
Well, the Lord brought judgment. The Lord brought judgment upon that establishment.
We sat there from 7:00 to 9:00, and at 9:00 they came out and told us
the cook was gone. The cook went home.
Hey, then the owner said, "Hey, if you want these old wings sitting there, the wings have been sitting there since 2:00."
Okay, and then I immediately left there and went looking for a free turkey.
I'm sorry. Oh my God.
This is how hard it is to get food these days. But I mean, are we a part of the problem because we make these resources so readily available? It feels like there is just money being thrown around.
Well, I mean, when you think about everybody giving away book bags, some kids got about 12 book bags just sitting.
They still can't read.
Right.
Johnny done dropped out.
I mean, whether it's the book bags, whether it's even the actual monthly food giveaways. I mean, I love I love Second Harvest, but Second Harvest will give you more than you need in everything that you want. And, you know, and you have to get rid of this stuff because half of it is like they give it to you on Monday and it's expired on Thursday.
Right.
So
No, it expired the Thursday before. That's
so
what
you got to get rid of it. So, I mean, you know, we just give away so much.
And they give away, sometimes food giveaways give away stuff people don't eat. Like here's a bag of dried chickpeas.
Right.
Some lentils.
And you got to put them in a bag because you got to get rid of them. Or, you know, you just you sitting there, you suck.
Like, what if I do with a 20-pound sack of banana peppers? Like, just throw them in the back of my car.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, turkeys is a whole different thing. If you're giving away good turkeys, I think that's a great thing. But once again, if everybody's giving away, and some people just will lower their expectation. If you know you can afford a turkey, go buy your own turkey.
It's not that hard.
It really ain't. I mean, it ain't really that expensive.
I mean, it's not like you're buying, you know, a whole cow or something.
You know, I mean, when you work at GE, well, they ain't here. GM, they ain't here. Packer,
None of these places
you know what? Just come get turkey.
Everybody come get a turkey.
Just come get turkey.
We're all equally poor around here.
Don't nobody work.
Nobody works anywhere.
His only job in Warren is McDonald's.
Listen, or just being a pastor. Work at a Dollar General.
Yeah, well, that's enough of them.
Right. Enough of them. But I do believe I believe that if you did a real audit of genuine needs versus convenience pickup.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's not good to save a few dollars, but if these things didn't exist, a lot of people would make it work. And maybe, just maybe, and I don't want to sound like a certain political party, but maybe, just maybe, we are dampening people's ingenuity. Mm-hmm. Because we've all been there as pastors. We've talked about this before in our benevolence episodes about giving and stuff. Right. When people don't get it from us, they get it from somewhere.
They gonna get it. They gonna get it.
I mean, they might sell dope, but they're gonna get it from somewhere.
They gonna get it.
I mean, you gotta hustle. I mean,
for Thanksgiving, every black family, I don't care how broke you is, they're gonna have some food.
You're gonna get some greens.
You're gonna have some. They're gonna have some. They're gonna have some grub.
Now, I really do believe, and again, I mean, hams, turkeys, and all those things, everything is more expensive. But it seems to me that there's still just as much available and just as much being bought, even in spite of inflation.
Right.
Corporate profits are sky high. What more can they build at our mall complexes and these plazas and stuff? I mean,
man,
where is this coming from?
Man,
where is this coming from? It's insane. Dude,
I went to the Eastwood where Action had a award.
Center, yeah,
at the Expo Center. They had a Christmas tree that had to be $5,000 up in there, man. I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, so somebody's spending some money somewhere.
Right.
Cavelli ain't spending it. It ain't just Cavelli and Cafaro and them.
Somebody else. A whole lot of people. But Pastor Barner is right. The word free drives us crazy. I will never ever forget when I was driving up Todd Avenue here in Warren. And somebody, I wasn't driving. I was on my way that way to the church. And on my way, I had opened up on Facebook and somebody had posted up a picture of a cardboard sign, like written in ink, almost like a homeless person sign. And it was like on a stick on the side of the road. And it said free stuff with an arrow. And the person that posted up on Facebook, hey, y'all, it's free stuff. It's a truck giving away free stuff. Didn't say what the stuff was, where the people were. They were probably human traffickers. It doesn't matter. As long as you said free stuff. And people will flock to it.
Oh, I mean, let's just go back for a minute. When Trump was giving out those trucks of stuff.
Oh, man.
Trucks. We wasn't worried about was it Trump then.
We didn't care.
We was grabbing those trucks
and threw the letter away.
That's what it was. Don't worry about that letter.
The letter inside. This is from you. This is from the give me the chicken. Give me the chicken and shut up.
Every church was giving away, getting the COVID stuff and everything. Right. So
but I applaud these individuals. We're going to do something and with wonderful support. It's great. But I do think we need to have a wholesale re-examination of all forms of charity. But I just feel like there's such an industry behind it that you can't.
Yeah.
What would churches do if you actually had to put more thought and effort into targeting your needs as opposed to just, we all got a way of just, doing our events that just reach out? And is it really reaching as many people as we think it is? Or is it really just reaching the same groups of people that were always coming? And the desired change we thought was going to come to their lives, the engagement, it's really not there.
Right.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
But still, blessings to you. I mean, I'll be in line for turkey from your church, wherever you're at. I'd like to go around as like, pretty well known. I just want to go around to everybody's giveaway, just get a turkey. And then after I get done getting all those turkeys, I'll put a flyer up that I'm having my own giveaway and I'll give those turkeys away.
At your house?
At my house to other people. Because that's basically what you could do.
I tell you what, do if you want to be different, fry the turkeys, bake the turkeys, then give them away.
If you have a fried turkey giveaway,
turkeys. That'll be good for me.
If you have a fried turkey giveaway, I will cut an old lady and trip her to get in line for that one.
And if this is your first year,
unless you have cats,
if this is your first year making a turkey, take the bag out. Don't. I've seen too many.
They put it in the bag.
The bag out the inside of the turkey.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget.
They left the turkey baby in there.
Yeah, don't forget to take. I'm trying to help y'all out.
You need to be pro-choice with that turkey and abort.
I read it somewhere every year.
Somebody
kept the bag in there. I'm trying to help. I know our viewership, we get thousands of people, so y'all take the turkey bag out.
This is Pastor Jeff's PSA to all of you.
Trying to help
you. Be real. Well, y'all know what time it is. Make sure you wash that turkey too, with the garden hose outside. Make sure you wash it.
You gotta wash the turkey
and some bleach.
Just throw that turkey in the oven. The heat gonna get it all clean. He gonna get that clean.
He'll sanitize it. And y'all know what time it is. It's time for meme of the week.
It's meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
We are. These are all jokes. We are just playing.
What do we got? Choirs haven't been the same since women stopped wearing these hairstyles. Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Man, the waterfall game.
Listen.
What
you
see
see
the
finger waves in the
slick
back?
To the side.
The beehive bun.
Man.
I know somebody still got one of those every Sunday. Beehive bun. And there was an anointing.
It was an anointing on those.
I mean, it came in the hair the way they slicked it down. That was the oil. They used blessed oil to do that. They
walked down church like Shandiyobo.
Listen, they had it. We haven't had good church since then.
Man.
We haven't had good church since the choir members' hairstyles looked like this and Martin Luther King was on our church fans.
Come on, sir.
That was good church.
Yes, sir. That was great church.
We need to bring back. Listen, that's the old alto section at my church. That is Hezekiah Walker. Jesus is my help. Listen, that is John P. Key show up.
Man.
You understand what I'm saying? That's some Mississippi Mass, your grace and mercy.
Come, Doc, when you just said, Jesus is my help.
That's it.
My help.
Just fall out.
My
That's some calling my name help. That's some calling my name. Fred Hammond. That's when the choir was the choir.
Man,
that's when church was
killer.
Church. Now we up here, all y'all done went natural and bald head and everything else. And we, all these weaves.
Dreads.
Right. Yeah, right.
Faux locks.
Ain't no oil in them dried up dreads. Literally and spiritually. Literally and spiritually. Ain't no oil.
Listen, y'all go ahead and wear y'all dress. My black, beautiful Nubian queens. My sisters.
But some of the brothers wear them too.
Well.
Some of the brothers wear them too, all down there. Yeah, man. They bring back. Everybody's been saying, bring back the choir. Our choir actually did pretty good today. I mean, it was that old school. They saying, do not pass me by.
Speak to my hair.
Speak to my hair.
Give me your holy word.
Paging Stanley Elkins. Paging Stanley Elkins.
If I can hear from
we need you to step in stat. We need you to step in stat. All right, y'all. Listen. Today's episode is a special episode because we had a special guest who stopped in the studio. He came in, tapped in, I should say, virtually for an interview with us a few days ago. Was not able to be with us, but I'm so grateful that we were able to record an interview with him. And I can't wait. I want you to I want you to share. Today's show, Pastor Jeff, is called Lights, Camera, Worship.
Yes, sir.
And it's sponsored by Phillips Care Cleaning Service, your needs, industrial, residential, move in, move out, carpet cleaning, wood floor cleaning, light industrial improvements and home repair, check out Phillips Care Cleaning, 330-219-7916. And if you're like me and sick of looking at leaves, check out Phillips Care Lawn Care Service. I might just call them and have them take care of it. I got a whole forest around my house, and you know what it is. It's just detrimental to my health to look out there and see that.
I gotta give him a call myself.
I got one little blower that's like the size of a hair dryer, and it don't move nothing. I need the big dogs to come in. Right, I can blow on them, blow them across the yard. Check out Phillips Care on Facebook or call my boy Fernando. Let him know that we sent you. And Lights, Camera, Worship. And we had a chance to talk with Pastor JJ Hairston, who will be live in concert at the Night of Hope at Second Baptist.
I do apologize to y'all. I am not in this. I was asleep. I was just okay. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Pastor Jeff was just getting out of rehab that day and reuniting with his family. And we decided to give him the night off. You know what I'm saying? But
some of us still got to go to that JOB.
Some of us still got to go to a JOB. But taking his place was the very capable, astute, and intelligent, my 8-year-old son, Ethan Johnson.
Basically saying I'm not as smart as an 8th grader. But, I mean, that was a sly way of saying it, but it's
3rd grader, actually.
Whatever.
I don't think I'm smarter than a 3rd grader at this point. If I was on that show, I'd probably lose. Are you smarter than a 5th grader or whatever?
I definitely would.
I probably lose. But listen, I want you to check this out. Leave your comments, hit like, hit share. This is going to be a wonderful interview. He has some funny stories. Check this out. Play that tape, Mike. I'll see you in a few. We'll be back. We'll be back. We are here with Pastor JJ Hairston, and I'm so excited to have him with us on the Religiously Incorrect broadcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Pastor. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing excellent. We're glad you were able to join us to just chat up and talk a little bit. Here on the show, we've been talking about the journey that our gospel artists have in this modern era, what it's like being in ministry, particularly in the music ministry, especially for those who are operating at the level you've been at for some 20 plus years now. Can you tell us, I know it's crazy to think about, but can you tell us a little bit about your journey? I mean, just the Cliff Notes version of how you first got started doing on the professional side, cutting your first albums and your first group and how you got to where you are now.
Well, it's funny. Youthful Praise started as a church choir.
Okay.
So we were singing every 4th Sunday. And what happened is there were a lot of churches and even college choirs that had started singing this song that was written by the co-director at the time. His name is Pastor Sean Brown. And the song was God is an Awesome God. Okay. So all we wanted to do was like, hey, let's record this so people would know we wrote the song, and we would have something to sell at the end of every concert. That's where we saw ourselves. That was our max.
Gotcha.
So because all we did, we would travel from maybe Connecticut to Baltimore. That was as far as we went. So we recorded in 1999. We printed 500 tapes and 1,000 CDs because we thought that was our max.
Right.
And we just, went on the road. And what happened was we went to what was called the Gospel Music Workshop of America. And there was a website around at that time called gospelflavor.com.
Yes, I remember.
And they decided, hey, why don't you allow us to take what you've done and release it nationally? So we were like, okay, cool. Because at that time, we didn't really know what national meant. I mean, we saw the Donald Lawrences and Hezekiah Walkers, but we didn't even see that for us, right? So in 2001, we re-released Awesome God. And now here we are 21 years later, 10 albums later, still doing what we do because somebody believed in us enough, and we believed in ourselves enough to start with something. We printed something, we recorded something, and went out on our own. And here we are today with the fruits of what happened, that seed that was planted in 2001.
Well, I love it. And, I'm one of those high school, college choir kids. I was a musician, turned into a director of a youth choir in our city. And Awesome God was one of those songs
Yeah.
that we were doing. And then I brought it back around to our church choir years later when it really started to kind of hit again, because, it hits different audiences at different times. And the first song when we started what around here we know is the Warren Citywide Youth Choir, I started in 2011. The very first song of the very first concert we sang was Lord You're Mighty.
Wow.
And the two wonderful young adults led that song, and that just sparked that choir effort in our city. So we relate, and I know on behalf of a lot of people like us who came out of the youth choir era, the times of youth groups, high school choirs, college choirs, community choirs. You provided so much material that's relatable. And I like to say like this, singable, like it's possible, to do the music. Right. Some stuff is so far out there. It's like, what do you do with this? But you have the musicality and the excellence, but also the accessibility to those of us who are trying to learn our way. I asked a question and I had a joke on Facebook a while back, and this is a little funny. I came to the conclusion that the more churches butcher your songs, the more popular you are. Like Total Praise is a good one. I don't know what Richard Smallwood feels like when he has to listen to so many renditions. He'll correct you. Yeah, he'll stop. I've seen the videos. He'll stop you. Well, have you ever run into a place where you realize you've made it because you've seen your music? I mean, doing quartet versions, old Baptist choir versions of your music. How's that? What's that feel like when you see that?
This is not an exaggeration or a lie. I've seen a quartet version of You Deserve It. And I mean, all the way, straight up quartet.
Driving it down the aisle.
I was like, you know what? This is what it feels like.
Waving towels and sweating and stanking. Yes.
Absolutely. And you know what I feel like? One thing you say that is really a compliment to us is we try to make songs that are reachable and singable. Sometimes it backfires in the fact that anybody will try to sing it. But the thing is, I pride myself on writing and releasing music that anyone feels comfortable and finds themselves in it. So even if it's a quartet singer, if it's a community choir, whoever that is, if you can find yourself in our music, then I feel like our mission was accomplished.
Right. I want to let my boy ask one of his questions. If you'd like to ask a question to Pastor JJ, just go ahead, shoot.
What inspired you to be a singer?
Great question. So this, let me set myself up here and say, I don't want this to be your example. I don't want this answer to be your example. But when I originally moved, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Okay. I moved to Connecticut when I was like maybe 12 or 13. And when I was living in New York, my mother was the minister of music and the choir director at the church. So there was like 4 rehearsals a week. We had to be in all of them. My grandfather was the pastor. So I was in church all the time. So when we got to Connecticut, I was like, thank God, I don't got to be in all these rehearsals. I don't got to be in every service. So my mother started going to this church, and I wasn't really going like that. But one night they were having a concert at the church, and she asked me to come. So I went. She kind of told me I was going. So right. And there was this youth choir that got up to sing, and the name of this choir was the Teens of TFT. This choir became Youth for Praise.
Okay.
But she wanted me to join the choir. This is the teen choir. And it was this girl I wanted to get in the choir. So if I wanted to get close to this girl, the only way I could get to her, because she was the pastor's daughter, only way I could get to her was to join the choir. So my inspiration for getting into gospel music was to get with a girl. Now, fortunately, this girl's name is Trina, and I married her, and we've been married for 28 years this year.
Wow.
So even though it wasn't the best reason to get into gospel music, it was something that paid off in more ways than one.
That's a good enough reason for me, because
Yeah.
that's how I met your mother, Ethan. So
Really? See that?
I was playing for district meetings for her pastor and all their church services. They thought I really loved the Lord. I'm like, nah, I'm just trying to
I'm really trying to
try to take her to Applebee's afterwards. You know,
there you go.
That's a great question, Ethan. I appreciate it. So much has changed in the past 20 years in the music industry. And you've been a part of that. When we were in high school, the Napster and LimeWire and BearShare and all that was happening. Now it's streaming almost to the point to where, and you tell me maybe, as physical CD sales, are not even really a thing in the traditional sense. Local artists, and I had one recently in our area, very well-known artist who did a gospel artist. He happens to live here, but he was like, Pastor, I got some CDs for you to sell. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm gonna sell them, except to maybe some of my older members, because I can't play this. Right. What has that been like as a gospel artist? We've heard from the secular world about the low stream rates. We have seen how touring has become the primary way, merchandising, websites, other, production, all that type of thing becoming their main bread and butter. What does that mean in the gospel world, which is a bit of a subculture and obviously has a much smaller footprint in the music world?
Honestly, our journey has been so different. So we were assigned artists to a record label for most of, from 2001 up until 2015.
Okay.
With the record label. And then in 2016, we came to this crossroads with the label, and they were like, hey, you can continue to do this, and we own your masters, or you can have this option where you'll now have to be responsible for producing your own music, and bringing us the master. We'll distribute it for you, but it's all on you. So all the risk is yours, all the expenses are yours, but you own your own master. So I said, okay, cool. Me not understanding how much it actually costs to make this stuff happen, I just went and did it. And the first record that we released under my distribution deal, where I own the masters, was You Deserve It.
Okay.
So with that being said, the benefit financially was exponential compared to what we would have received as assigned artists. But in that season was also this transition from all CDs and being in all the stores,
right,
to starting to stream. So along with that, that loss of in-store, which I really wasn't that much of a fan of anyway, became this boom of YouTube and streaming. So for us, it's been extremely beneficial, because the biggest consumer of You Deserve It was Africa, Nigeria.
Wow.
By far.
Never would have thought.
Yeah. And there are no stores, no physical stores in Africa. So this streaming capability has definitely broadened our reach. Now, those who are really local, I know that that's not their same story, because then they have to find a way to market and reach. Whatever. But for us, it's been a real benefit that we don't have to worry about, okay, is your record an FYE? I remember those it's not an FYE. I don't see it in my store. All those woes are gone now. And
right.
Dare you say you release, it's everywhere there's gonna be. So
right.
To me, it's the benefit.
I love it. And I mean, you just broke down a misconception, of course, according to your experience, again, that international, that we're thinking that it's completely destroying everybody in the industry, whereas it's actually opening up some opportunities for you. And that's interesting to actually hear. What are some other misconceptions? Because I think some of us know, because we've been around long enough to know that when the lights go down and the show is over, you're just another person. A lot of artists are serving at churches, or they're pastoring a church. Some of them have just a day job, or they're doing production for other things. What are some misconceptions not to lower yourself and be like, yeah, I'm living in a shack right now. We don't want to sound like Kim Burrell, but trailer park.
Right.
But what are some misconceptions about what you might experience on the stage? And then, hey, I'm just going right back to everyday grind like everybody else when I'm not, setting up my next move or planning for a ministry event.
Wow. So I've shared this story before. One of the biggest misconceptions is that there is no work for the artist. Like the artists, all they do is this.
Right.
Before, I was a computer programmer at a company called GE Supply.
Okay.
I never heard GE, but GE Supply, and I did not leave my job until like 2014. So Lord, I'm live to praise and worship with Lord Your Mighty.
All these CD covers.
Yeah, all these CD covers. After this, resting on His promise, everything in those seasons, I was doing all that on vacation days and weekends.
Wow.
So I would literally, I would be at the Stellar Awards, and I would they would let me take my laptop with me to work to travel. And I would be up in the room working all day and then coming downstairs and doing the show. And then the next morning I would have to go back up and finish what I didn't get done on the day of the awards. That's
Wow.
a real thing. I actually retired, got a cake and a watch and everything. Oh my God.
I love it. They still do watches?
They still do watches.
I got something to look forward to.
But the funny thing is, even though I stopped working a secular job, I became full-time minister of music at another large church.
Right.
So just the type of work shifted. And most artists that they're working in some capacity.
Right.
Just so you have that consistent income. That does not mean that gospel music, you go broke, but it is an investment into your future, and it's an assignment. It's not this get rich.
Right.
People would love to believe it is.
Oh yeah. Y'all just chilling by the pool all day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. That's not happening.
That's not it. Big Mike got something. Big Mike.
Yeah, real quick. You've written some beautiful songs.
Thank you.
Explain to me your writing process. Take me into your writing process.
What's the secret sauce? Yeah. What's the secret sauce?
Man, there is
filet sauce. That's what we want to know.
There's no secret sauce. It's like every time I'm doing a record, the process is different. You talking about songs like Lord Your Mighty and those songs. I wish I could say I sat down and thought about it and this is, literally I was on my way, I was driving and I started singing it. That's how it happened. There was one record specifically, which was the record after is the record called I See Victory. It's a record after this. And for that record, I listened to TD Jakes for a month straight, every message I could find. And then I started writing songs based on the revelations that I got from his messages. But now that I'm pastoring, it's a little different. I feel bound to scripture. I wish I could have the freedom not to feel like I have to be so scripturally sound, but I don't have that anymore because I feel like there's an expectation that not only will I have something pleasing to the ear, but pleasing to the mind.
Wow.
And if you think about what I'm saying. So it changes every time, but I can say either all of our songs are either going to come from scripture or worship, a worship experience, one of those two.
I love it. Mike's got one more.
Okay, follow-up question on the writing. What's harder to write, a hook or the verse?
Wow. Definitely it's harder to write the hook.
Harder to write the hook.
It's harder because I feel like the hook is what stays.
Yeah.
And, it's easy to find a verse because the verse is just saying what you want to say.
Right.
But the hook is what's going to make it stay. And it's always harder for me to write the hook. Now, a vamp, I can give you a vamp and you say me what you got, I'll give you a vamp in 5 minutes.
Right.
But it's that hook that makes because that's really the meat of the song. So that's always the harder part for me.
Okay. I'm gonna turn it over to Ethan one more time. Ethan, what do you want to ask? You got two other questions. You can ask one of them.
What was your favorite gospel singer growing up?
Ooh.
Great question, Ethan. So I'm from Brooklyn, like I said. So Hezekiah Walker was the king of Brooklyn.
Mr. New York. Yeah.
Like if you're in Brooklyn, New York, for what we do, he was and is the top. Like it's amazing. There was this place called Brooklyn Academy of Music. At that time, that was like the theater. And he was the first person to have like a concert there that I knew of. So it was like, he's the man. You know what I mean? So he was definitely my favorite because not only was he able to accomplish having this huge thing happen with a choir, which is not usual, but also he had the world singing his music, and it was really simple. It wasn't like really intricate. So that whole model that you talked about earlier really came from Bishop Walker, like singable, teachable songs that anybody and everybody wanted to do.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely right. Ethan, tell Pastor JJ who your favorite artist is right now. Your favorite gospel group.
My favorite gospel group is PJ Morton's
and
Red Hands.
Dope.
I want to hit just the ministry side. You know, you're coming to Warren, and we're so glad to have you this coming Friday on the 11th, 7 o'clock. To all of you who are watching Night of Hope on November 11th, Friday, November 11th. This is our 5th year doing this, y'all. Coming back from the pandemic, doing 2 years of virtual events. We're glad to be back in the building. And I want to talk first from the business, just the practical. You get that phone call. My dear friend, Pastor Mark Jackson, made the connection for me. I love giving credit where credit is due. And in your world of the gospel artist, you could just as easily be performing at an arena concert and then get a call from a Second Baptist saying, hey, we got Usher Day number 2 coming up, and we'd like you to be the guest speaker. What's it like? Is it all the same to you, or do you just understand there are different assignments when you're doing that tour maybe with maybe other gospel artists, or you're doing that theater show or that ministry and doing the church, sort of ministries where the mid-sized guys like myself are calling and we're trying to do something for our city and we're, putting that in. What's that like, that difference?
So true story. The Kirk Franklin and Maverick City tour just started back up. So
okay.
I'm doing 4 of the dates, right?
Okay.
So opening up, thousands of people going crazy, right? And then me knowing, hey, but I'm coming to Second Baptist on the 11th. For me, now this is not just because I'm on with you.
Right.
I'm more excited about Second Baptist than I am the tour, because when you get the tour, it's like it's the rush in and out. It's strictly business. Do your thing. You got your time slot, and you out of here.
Right. Don't get the hook. You don't want to be Sandman Sims.
Listen, I don't care what's happening. When your 30 minutes is done,
it's up.
You know what I'm saying. But when I have the opportunity to minister at churches, we get to see and experience a different level of encounter.
Wow.
Like if a moment happens and we're worshiping during a song, we don't cut it off and just move to the next thing, right? We allow God to do his thing in that moment. And we don't really have that opportunity on the stage,
right?
A tour. So for me, those moments are much more impactful, because this is one thing I hate. It's like we say we're gonna worship to the presence, we feel the presence of God, and the presence of God comes, and you gotta hurry and get out the way.
Right.
Like, so are you looking for the presence of God, or are you looking to occupy time?
Yeah.
And I'm just at a space in my life where it's an honor to be a part of this tour. But I'm at a place in my life where I'm not just trying to occupy time. I'm trying to get in the face in the presence of the Lord. So that's why I'm excited about what's going to happen in Second Baptist. We're going to worship. We're going to give God praise. We're going to jump. We're going to dance. I'm a little energetic. I know
we there. They're used to me, so you can't do any more than I've done. I mean, do you have an anxiety about when you get that call, you don't really know what you're walking into. Do you scope people out? Do you find out like, all right, let me make sure this is legit. I don't want to get trapped somewhere and end up in somebody's garage with a few lawn chairs.
Right.
You know, Saints, we ain't got the money tonight. You know, one of these things. Like, have you ever had an anxiety about that?
I don't really have anxiety about it. I used to, but I feel like at this point, I have a team around me that's there to protect me. So if it's not coming through a contact or a friend like a Pastor Mark Jackson, I'm expecting my team to kind of scope it out, make sure I'm good.
Right.
And if anything slips through the cracks and I wind up at a place that, you know, like, oh, I really wouldn't have wanted to come here, that must mean that God has a reason for me to be there. That's the way I look at it.
I feel it.
And there's been places we've gone, literally, true story. One time we went to this place. I can't say where because I don't want to embarrass them.
I get it.
But it was like 10 people in the building, and the building sat like 500. And it was like, why? How?
Yeah.
Then there was one lady that got saved that night. So I'm like, God, did you set this up?
Right.
Send us all the way to this city so this one lady gets saved. And if that's the case, then the mission is accomplished. So that's where I kind of sit with it. I don't ever live in regret or in anxiety.
I feel it. What do mid-size churches, we know we might not get the Tamala Man tours and all of that. What do churches need to know about reaching out to artists and just basic expectations or to be prepared for, you know, how can we bridge that gap even more? And what are some things that we need to know that might help us to reach out and be able to offer that quality to our communities?
So here's two things. First of all, I want to kill the misconception that artists, and I don't want to say mainstream or grade them, but, you know, some of the artists that we consider to be top tier are sitting around not looking to go out.
Okay.
We want to travel. We want to come. So I think the part two, because that's the kill that misconception. Part two is be honest, and on both sides, you know, right? Like I've told my team to be very honest, say, hey, this is what we know we need.
Right.
Anything outside of that, we're willing to negotiate and talk through. But we need you to be honest and say, this is what we can do. Not from a place of, you know, let's see how low we can get them, or let's make them think that this is going to be straight and then we get there, it's not. If we're both honest, I think that you'd be surprised how many artists are willing to go to some of the markets where people consider it not to be the high profile markets. Like, I'm happy to be coming to Warren. You know what I'm saying? And I think you mentioned Tamala and some of these other, Israel, as you can see, they want to go to every market they can. It's not the days of old where, I mean, there are some who just want to do arenas, but there was a season where we couldn't get to an arena. So we're not pressed to make it seem like if it's not this, we're not coming. Let's just be honest with each other and make it happen.
Well, Pastor JJ, thank you so much. Ethan, did you enjoy the interview?
Yes.
I'm so glad we had a chance to chat with you, to share with you, and the insights you gave. I know our podcast audience is going to take it in. I can't wait to see the comments that are coming in and the people with questions going to be asked. Maybe we'll do a follow-up later and talk with you some other time. But thank you so much. Blessings to you and your wife and your family and your ministry. And we can't wait to see you Friday.
Pastor, thank you so much for having me. We're going to have a good time. I'm so excited to come.
All right, y'all, this is Pastor JJ. Back to you guys in the studio. Wow.
Man, that was phenomenal, Doc.
I loved how down to earth.
That was phenomenal.
I loved how down to earth Pastor JJ was, you know, and I like working with individuals like that who are just everyday people who get a chance to do their dream.
Right.
You know, and all of my interactions, I can say honestly, with Pastor JJ since the connection has been made, has been very easy. Not a lot of middlemen. Like you mentioned, he has a team.
Right.
But, you know, he'll respond to you personally.
Absolutely. And I got a chance to meet with him several times when I was in Full Gospel. And he's just that guy, very genuine, very down to earth. And, you know, you wouldn't even know, well, probably back then he probably was still working at
right.
working at the, whatever he said, the computer programmer.
Amazon warehouse.
But I mean, just some of the phenomenal things. I think that was extremely that his first record by himself that he had his own master was "You Deserve It." That's big of itself.
Right. And
I
it's
mean-
funny. I almost brought up Prince with him. Like, so, the joke used to be, do you own your masters?
Right.
From Prince, but he saw the value of that.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost like betting on yourself.
Yeah.
He bet on himself, and "You Deserve It" became that hit. I mean, like he said earlier, "You Deserve It" went from every church, every choir, quartet version. You can't get away from it.
Yeah, you can't.
But I like, as I said to him, the fact that there is music that we all can sing in the church, whether we can really sing or not. You can sing his songs, and I think he's going to go down as one of those prolific songwriters that will be sort of like a soundtrack of worship for much of the church.
And if he's going to go down as that prolific songwriter, don't you think you ought to come check him out for free?
Should be for free.
For free?
For free.
You're talking about somebody who's going to go down as a prolific songwriter, singer.
Now, to be clear, it's free, but I will take up 5 offerings.
At least 5.
Maybe at least 5.
At least 5.
I mean,
I'm taking up an offering at second. It's going to be for progressive.
Jeff's going to bring his own baskets.
Digging Edwards, I need you over at Second Baptist on Friday.
I'm like, I got a table in the front. Jeff got one in the back. You know what I'm saying? Whoever gets to you first. No, but I mean, I love the spirit, and I love, in my experiences, and I've been blessed so far between events that we have been able to offer quality ministry through our church, starting way back with Israel Houghton in 2013 in the youth choir. And we've had Rashawn Mitchell, Dietrich Haddon, Marvin Sapp, Bishop William Murphy, Jeffrey Golden. Now we have Pastor JJ Hairston. I have yet to have one bad experience.
Right.
There are always challenges. It could be logistics, whatever, but I've never had a bad experience on that personal level. And it's good to know that this image that we always have of people who are high up, whether they're preachers or gospel singers or whatever, it's really a false image. I'm sure there'll be bad stories about everybody told,
Absolutely.
depending on a perspective. But I'm grateful, and I'm grateful that we can bring that quality. Here's the thing that I still think, Pastor Jeff, is that outside, and he didn't like to say A-list gospel artists. He didn't want to say that. But outside of those individuals who might be considered the upper echelon, I really do hope that we find more ways to engage gospel artists at the local church level.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe even work together as churches so that we can present to our areas and our regions the type of unifying and quality worship experiences that would be a blessing to our people. And I made this comment, and it's funny because the sister called me and text me just to tell me that she was blessed by it. But one of the sisters from my church, my home church, when I was being raised, took me to my first concert. Had to be like 12 or 13 years old, maybe. First concert, it was like a Hezekiah Walker and Fred Hammond. I think it was Hezekiah Walker, Fred Hammond, Yolanda Adams or something like that. They were all on a ticket together. And she took me to my first concert, and that ignited something in me for the rest of my life to want to do, great things. Never became a music artist or anything, but it was inspiring to my life. And I feel that areas like ours that feel like they're kind of in the middle of nowhere sometimes, people need that inspiration and quality as well. And after we do JJ, we're working with Mary J. Blige, to bring her to Second Baptist. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. Live at the Mount Zion Temple, Church of God in Christ.
And y'all don't let Pastor Todd fool you. I know he might not have ever became a gospel artist, but I still know very few people, and I've been around quite a few of them that can play as well as you. Oh. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about literally play. And actually, under the anointing and really just go in, man. So
I appreciate it.
I know you ain't done it in a while, so you might be horrible now.
Yeah, I'm garbage. What do my sons say? You're trash. That's what they say when they're beating me.
Hey, and Pastor Bonner, if you decide to come up on Friday, I can guarantee you that you won't be sitting with me, but we can get you. we can get you in the second to last row.
Hey, we got some space in the bathroom. We're gonna have a TV monitor in the women's bathroom if you want to watch from there. But no, it's gonna be an awesome night, a night of hope. I should have had the video loaded up for you guys to be able to watch, but you've seen it enough. But I want to thank Pastor JJ Hairston for being with us on our show, for gracing us with his presence, allowing my boy to participate. Thank you, Pastor Jeff. I know he was tied up, and I said, hey, I'm not going to do this alone. Ethan, pretty soon they're going to have a new generation of religiously incorrect. And they'll be completely non-religious altogether, but it is what it is. But I really love these opportunities and to be able to talk to people and hear their perspective. What he said about You Deserve It being a #1 hit in Africa.
Wow.
When you talk about worldwide impact,
It is.
you never know how God is going to use you to bless other people. And now I'm going to go home and look up YouTube versions of African You Deserve It, versions.
We was on the one Sunday with Africans. The one Sunday night. We had all the Africans on. Remember that night, Mike?
Pastor Jeff is talking about his friend with all the bot accounts, with all the fake accounts. We had like 30,000 views in one night. It's a bunch of African kids in a little hut hitting the like button over and over again. I get paid 1 cent per like. Pastor Jeff did that. Pastor Jeff did that. So I got a question for you guys at home if you're watching. What gospel artists, and I really want to talk about female because we've had all males.
Tamala Man.
What gospel artist would you like to see live in person? If we were able to do another Night of Hope or similar event with a female gospel artist, I want you all to sound off, I should say. Don't sign off, sound off, and tell me what gospel artist would you like to hear?
Tamala Man with special guest appearance by Fantasia. And I'm done. I'm there at 12 o'clock in the afternoon waiting. I want to be Fantasia's armor bearer.
I think there's some ulterior motives behind this.
I want to be the person that when she kick off her shoes, I run and grab them.
Tamala Man. Okay, we got another vote for Tamala Man.
Fantasia would rip it, though.
Fantasia would rip it.
Yes, she would.
Yeah, she rip it. Rip that dress.
If you don't want me, then don't talk to me.
You got to lose to win.
Ooh.
Yeah, let me hear from you. Who would you, Sister Elder Carter would like to see Tamala Man? She's definitely amazing.
I'm thankful for what JJ said, that they do want to come, but I heard she high though, man.
She's high.
I heard she high.
I know I've called. But
I think she's worth her high.
The ministry, but what happens is that two things happen. That bumps out the average church or promoter or organizer that needs to make some form of compensation. I'm not even talking about profit. I just mean covering your expenses.
Right.
Is difficult because besides the fee, there is the travel. Then there is what we call, sound reinforcement and staging and backline, which means you have to bring in all the instruments and all the things that they would like. And that level, you're usually going to some venue that's going to cost you even more money.
Right.
So for y'all that don't know, when you see these gospel shows out here, they could have easily dropped $25,000 to $35,000 to $40,000 on a gospel show with the hopes that enough people will buy tickets. So here's what brings to mind, Pastor Jeff. When we think about that, Tasha Cobb Leonard, we got to vote for Tasha Cobb Leonard from Dave Holbrook. Dave, I got a song for you. I think we got to find a way to collaborate one day on a worship experience. Fantasia and her mother. That almost feels like another, remember Whitney Houston used to sing with her mother, like gospel songs with Sissy Houston. Fantasia and her mother.
I bet you Fantasia high too, though.
Tasha is.
I said Fantasia.
Somebody called out Tasha once. It was some years ago for her fee. You usually don't publish this stuff. Like I've got, obviously all these contracts and conversations. I've never told people unless I had to have an industry conversation with somebody, what fees we've worked out. But somebody called Tasha Cobb out for how high her fee was. And, there was just a little brouhaha about 5 years ago or so. Here's my problem. I want to say two things. First of all, not enough gospel artists have the star power and recognition outside of their core fan base. I found out that so many people do not really know the names of most gospel artists. They just know the song.
Yep.
They just know the song. So when I've had Marvin Sapp, it amazed me, but one of the sisters of my church said, "Who is Marvin Sapp?"
Mm-hmm.
And I had to say, never would have made it. She's like, "Oh, I'll be there." You know, so here's the thing with female artists. Most female gospel artists have less recognizable songs than male gospel artists. You'd have to go back to and then it's always the songs that we know that everybody is familiar with are the songs that are worn out and people are tired of hearing.
You know what?
If you say Mary Mary, they're going to say Shackles.
Right.
Don't nobody want to hear Shackles.
You know who I love? And I love her attitude, but I couldn't tell you one song she sang. It's CeCe.
She has an Alabaster Box song.
I don't know that one either.
It's just a bunch of crying the whole time about the woman.
CeCe, but she has a beautiful voice.
She does. She's
she has
powerful.
a beautiful voice. I have no.
Somebody in my church mentioned Yolanda Adams, Sister Nita, but there was an ulterior motive because they had a crush on her, and I think they were trying to get a date. They were trying to get a date. I won't tell you who it was.
Divorced, didn't she?
Yeah. Well, she's a beautiful woman. She's beautiful, and she's like 7 foot tall, so she can actually sing for you and join your league team.
J Hud got too much going on now.
Yeah,
she's talk show.
Yeah, she's doing a talk show. She's a dream girl.
She can't come nowhere.
But these sisters honestly represent the most powerful voices of our generation. And I think we love their voice, their presentation, their anointing, their gift. And we'll love whatever they sing, whether we know what it is or not. Mm-hmm. But I'm not about to listen to Tamala Mann sing I Can Only Imagine for 3 hours, and what's the one other song that was that the same song?
No, it was that what is that?
See, you got
the one where she break every chain.
That's not her, that's Tasha.
Yeah,
Break Every Chain was Tasha.
I'm all messed up.
Yeah. So we got another vote for CeCe. So I would like to, mix it up with the.
I bet y'all can get that one girl right now who.
Which one?
The one lady who called everybody ugly. And bet you can get her for like $15.
Yeah,
$15 in a Big Mac.
Said y'all lived in a trailer. You're talking about Kim Burrell, and you need to leave my sister alone.
Y'all can get Kim Burrell.
Jennifer Hudson and Fantasia together. Sold. I'll do it next week. Albertina Walker. Okay, I'm gonna forgive you for your spelling, Elder Carter, because I love you. Albertina. I wish her name was Ambertina, because that would be a much better.
What did she sing? Yeah, she must be old school.
Oh, she's like Caravan.
Just somebody so it's named Albertina.
She sang with Sister Gwen. Well, she did. They're in the Caravans together. She did. She sang with Mama Gwen. I got video.
Yes, bring her.
Bring Albertina.
Bring her.
Yeah. But I forget what song. She does have one good song everybody used to like. I Can Go to God in Prayer. That was her.
Okay.
I can call him when I need him. Mm-hmm. But she got that. They say she raspy. She got a smoker's voice. She be smoking them unfiltered before she get out there. Gosh. She got them old ones you rolled yourself. Where you just got it in your glove box and just wrap it up in some paper.
Hey, I'll tell you what though.
Shirley can still go.
What's the one lady's name? No, they got 300 kids right now.
You talking about Nick Cannon?
No, the lady.
The lady. Yes, I can't think of her name.
She can kill though.
The real light skinned lady.
Yeah, the light skinned lady. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The lady got all the kids. She keep on having babies, but she can sing.
She's like on baby number 10 or something like that. What is her name? She used to sing with Avant and
Avant, Kiki Wyatt. Kiki Wyatt. Bring Kiki up.
She can't sing.
God, that girl can sing.
She can sing.
I watched her in a dressing room putting on shoes, just singing.
Jeff was in her dressing room.
No, it was on a video.
Oh, Jeff. Jeff just said back page. He wanted to be Fantasia's. He wanted to be Fantasia's feather duster. And he was in Kiki Wyatt's dressing room. I think we need a full-on investigation from the Me Too movement. Okay, the Clark sisters. Okay, I've been thinking about a Clark. Can't say which one because there's like 9 of them, but I've been thinking about the Clark. So Kiera Sheard.
Oh yeah, Kiera.
Okay,
Yes,
here's another thing.
Yes.
Okay, can I say something that's not disrespectful to anybody? There are people who are church famous, and then they're famous to a certain segment of the church. So some people are like Kojic famous.
Yeah, Union bought Kiera, right?
Karen.
Oh, okay, Karen.
And it was Terrell.
Okay.
Terrell
Oh yeah,
because they had rain or
Yeah, it
something.
had rain,
and we
yeah.
went to, but honestly, it didn't get a great response.
Right.
You know, it didn't get as good of a response as I think it should have been. But I think the Clark sisters can kill. The Neville sisters, they sing at our church all the time. Oh, you're not from up here. We live literally right next door to the Neville sisters. Gail is actually family. She's married to my cousin. She's family, married to John. She actually was our worship leader, and led worship at Second for a while. And April's down at Bishop Jake's, living her best life. God bless you, April. You escaped. We love you down there. She does the clips and all on Instagram and all like their pre-show stuff. But yeah, I'm determined to bring a female gospel artist. And I just would like to, first of all, I like to pour into mid-level, if you want to call it that, people, because I feel like we need more support in that direction. You know, I've supported local artists. We've always supported and helped them out. And then we go to top tier. But I think we can do more of this by bringing people in who
bring Brandy Mathis back and her family.
Brandy, listen.
Bring Brandy back.
She's like the Kiki Wyatt of
She's in Texas now.
Yeah, I mean, they got some.
I think they're up to 7.
Yeah, up to 7. So
and they can all sing.
Brandy and the choir. Bring the mass choir.
Bring them
on
all
one
back.
bus. All right. So Jeff said it. I didn't. You know, Jeff said it. So we appreciate you all watching. Please, would you go? And I wish I could put it in the comments. I think I will. Would you go and make sure that you share the Night of Hope concert link, the event? It's going to be wonderful. And by the way, it's for a good cause.
And I'm emceeing, y'all.
Pastor Jeff is going to be
emceeing.
he's going to be the Sandman Sims of the concert. If somebody goes over, he's going to come out with a hook and start dancing.
I find my way up on stage every concert for something. I don't know.
Kiki, are you talking about Kiki Wyatt or Kiki Sheard? Because Kiki Sheard is the Clark sisters' daughter, right? Karen's daughter.
Karen's daughter.
And then there's Kiki Wyatt, who's an R&B artist.
Yeah, she's R&B, but she sings
gospel.
She sings gospel. Yes.
Jeff, you just made that up.
No, she do. She do. Seriously.
What song she sang?
I don't know.
Other people's songs?
Yeah, other
Probably.
people's songs. Yeah,
Probably
definitely
right.
other people's songs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So before we go, gospel concert pet peeves. Gospel concert pet peeves. I got a few gospel concert pet peeves, and I hope JJ is watching this. If I paid you to sing, I don't want you to preach. Like, if you don't have that much material,
It
just
ain't gonna
say
happen.
so.
It ain't gonna happen, Doc. They gonna preach. It's and he's a preacher. He gonna preach. He got to. They got to. That's,
Yeah, but
that's
some of them be prophesying because they don't really have their material and they're set together,
right.
and they just be talking. And it's the same prophecy in everybody's city. There's about to be a major revival in this city. I can feel God moving. This is gonna happen. Nobody's ever gonna be the same. It can't be the same all the time. Okay. Sister Johnson said not starting on time. Yeah. We don't have that problem. We've been very timely, but boy, have I sat through some services. And you know what? Sometimes it goes from local churches to even major concerts where y'all know CP time.
Right.
Y'all know CP time. Nothing's on time. Concert's supposed to start at 7:00. They still having sound check, carrying drums in at 8:00. Yo, I ain't got no sticks, stuff like that. Keyboards not set up, shouting after every song. You're right. That's a good one. Go to the bottom one. Live recordings. Gospel live recordings are aggravating. You ever been to a gospel live recording?
I don't think so.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you why they're aggravating. Because it's a live recording, which means you have to start and stop. And then after a while, I did one at the Stellars one year. We went just to go and we were watching. And you have to pretend like the spirit is moving every time.
Oh, wow.
You start back up. And I'll never forget. It was Kurt Carr doing a segment at the Stellar Awards. And he was doing, we lift our hands in the sanctuary. We lift our hands in the sanctuary. And so they were announcing him and he was supposed to come out from the side during the song. And the first time they did it, they announced him, Donnie and I think it was Donnie and Yolanda, and they announced him and they point to the side and they start the music. And first of all, he comes prancing out. And I mean that with every bit of the word. He pranced on his tippy toes. Come on, y'all. And so the technician stopped it. The producer stopped it and said, we're having technical difficulties and we need to run it again. I believe with all my heart, they took him backstage and said, don't do that again.
Ever.
Like 2 or 3 times.
Ever.
But you had to give the same intro. You had to give, and so you had to give all this energy. So one thing I've been watching is I've been watching live recordings, and if stuff you hear on the CD where they are shouting and screaming, even praise breaks and all that kind of stuff, and nobody is really excited because they've been in there for 5 hours. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like adding crowd noise to a stadium. You know what I mean? Like, it feels exciting. You're listening in your car like, I bet you they was bucking and shouting. And here's the other thing about live recordings. I'll give you my last one about live recordings. Gospel live recordings usually attract a bunch of other artists and musicians who are too cool to praise God. So they just stand around to be impressed by the recording, and they're not actually worshiping. Wow. Watch Ricky Dillard's a good example of this. And a couple of the live recordings, you will see people just kind of standing around because they all went to the event and not to worship. Right. So if you went to worship, it's not a pleasant experience. We had a few more. Pastor Glenn, bad sound equipment. Yes, bad sound equipment will ruin a concert. Everybody stands up. Sister Jeanette, and you can't see, so you have to stand up too. Well, you better bring a Brewster seat to Second Baptist.
Jeanette wants to sit the whole concert.
Sister Jeanette, like, y'all better sit down up there.
Sit down. Let me see. I can't sing them.
We're going to try to get them on the screen.
Retch around.
Retch around here. She said, Jeff's favorite word is retch.
Retch around.
Retch around.
Retch around here now.
Retch around. Whose grandma said that in your life? Who said that? Because you love that. You got me cracking up about that.
I have no idea.
I'm going to have a whole sermon called Retch Around. Oh, man. Okay. Sister Anita said, Marvin said, oh, don't mess with my man Marvin. Marvin Sapp asked what we wanted to hear and had a recording. Okay, you know what? We had him at our church, and he did. He had a recording, and it's called like a set. It's like when you say, "Hey, we're going to minister for 45 minutes." He has a 45-minute set. He didn't minister for 45 minutes, but anyway, I heard the exact same thing at the next concert, except they cut it off at the end and pretended like it was a technical difficulty. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Wow. I
heard the exact same thing. Since Science said bucking and shouting.
I did enjoy the one. Who was that downtown? Who was downtown? You had the concert downtown. I think about it. Yeah, at the Amp.
Red Hands?
No.
It wasn't Red Hands?
No, it was a light.
Jeff said I did not enjoy them.
No, I enjoyed Red Hands. No, what was the guy's name?
Israel?
No, Israel wasn't downtown. Israel was
at an art.
No, it was at the amphitheater. No, in Youngstown.
Oh, James Fortune.
James Fortune done a phenomenal. His backup singers was killer.
Yeah, they were killer.
Yeah, his backup singers was killer.
And you know what, Sister Nita, I appreciate that because that was a learning experience for all of us. People, we had one particular evening that left people unsatisfied, and so that's the bad part on our part is that we can't always control what the person might show up and do. And they have a lot of clout. We can't really beg them back. Now, John P. Key has some funny jokes. If you ever heard him when he talks about he's not like these new artists. And he's like, these new artists sing 2 songs and feel the spirit and go to the car. And he'd be like, nah, I go out to the car and say, get back out on this stage. I paid you for a whole concert. You ain't about to get the spirit and walk off.
Right.
But unfortunately, we can't always control where everybody is at. And you know what? I thank God for Pastor JJ and his attitude because I've learned the hard way. And unfortunately, one of our earlier concerts was a learning experience is that pay attention to how people are treating and regarding you from the beginning.
Right.
And whether they really feel honored and concerned about ministering in your town, in your city, at your church, because you can tell that they will give their all in worship and not treat you like another gig or stopover or easy check for nothing. And unfortunately, he was right when he said some people do just see it. It should be a check because that is your livelihood.
Right.
And people depend on you. And you have a secretary and you have singers, and those people can't fly with them for free. Their families need to eat and all of that. But you can tell when it's a little distant. You know, it's a little distant. So, Mike, you want to pop in on this before we go? You good? All right. So, hey, make sure you like and share Night of Hope. We'll be sharing this on our page, on a Religiously Incorrect page. It's going to be a great night. Excuse me, doors open at 6. I recommend you get there, get a good seat. Dorothy Norwood was good. You remember me and Sister Sonia have some stories. We sang with Restoration. We had some stories together. Dorothy Norwood, I cut it out of the interview. But Dorothy Norwood was a concert we did, and we were one of the opening choirs for Dorothy Norwood.
Okay.
And it was not her fault, but the promoter did not have people's money. And there was a brouhaha in the back because there was a quartet group that will remain nameless on this roster, and quartet groups carry guns, and they wanted their money.
Hey,
they wanted their money.
Give me my money. Pay me my money. Run me my money.
Dorothy Norwood was back there saying some words that my virgin ears had never heard. And then as soon as we started the music, she came out and said, "Shake, shake, shake, shake the devil off."
I tell you what,
she said, "Raise your hand."
And because, not just because I am a member of Lifted.
Yes.
Regina Bell Battles. Listen,
Battles is a beast.
She is phenomenal. She's phenomenal.
She's phenomenal. So if you got any song requests for JJ, make sure you post them up. He's not coming. He's not coming with a recording. We have a live band. It's going to be live singers. He's not just coming with a recording. And let's see if we got any more comments before we go. Make sure you like, make sure you share. I was getting ready to.
Is he bringing his backup singers?
He's bringing his backup singers.
Okay, I was going to ask, could I get in there?
Jay is upset that he can't be there. You said you were trying to do what now?
Can I back him up?
He could use that a tenor.
We'll
give you one of those mics with no batteries in it.
It's all right.
Like we give to the kids.
I can sing loud enough without a battery. I don't need no mic.
Right.
Just let me up on stage.
Right. He said, I don't need a mic. Oh, Elder Threes, I don't need a mic. I love it. So make sure you tap in. I'm going to share this link before we go right in on this. But if there's anything else you want to tap in?
Nah, man, just come to the concert. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy ourselves. Y'all know I'm going to be down there doing my river dance.
Listen, the Kirk Franklin. Jeff is the Kirk Franklin of Warren, Ohio. He's going to be doing it. You can check the link in the comments right there. If you want to RSVP, make sure you let us know that you're coming, and make sure that you like and share the event with everybody you know. Until next time, make sure
Wait
you
a minute, one more thing. I got to say one more thing. Listen, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to throw it out there because nobody else has, but I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm real serious about this. I absolutely love Black Panther. I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
Can't wait to see it. But it's going to be on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and the rest of the week.
Right.
You don't have to be there the first night.
Black Panther didn't die for you.
Yeah. Well,
listen, Wakanda ain't where you trying to go.
Him high and lip spreading what?
Ain't no gates of pearls, streets of gold in Wakanda. You know what's playing on Thursday?
Is it? Okay.
Yep. And the kids don't
we'll
have school
see it on Thursday or Saturday.
Kids don't have school on Tuesday. You can go Monday night.
Yes.
I might go to the late show after the concert. Hey JJ, what you want to do? You want to go to the concert? Check it out.
What's up?
All right, Jay, we love you too, man. Appreciate you.
Y'all can't come out to dinner with us either.
No, you can't come out to dinner.
I'm acting like I'm in there like I'm going out there.
You got to keep all the church groupies away from the dressing room. You know, JJ's married. He's happily married. We can't handle problems like that. So, hey, y'all take care. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel, Twitter. Make sure you watch out for next week's Sunday night service. We will be back next Sunday night with another fire show.
Call Fernando for y'all leaves.
Call Fernando for y'all leaves, man.
Call Mike for y'all.
Call Mike for your bellies. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. And call Pastor Jeff for your turkey. Until next time, peace out.
And wrench around.
Wrench around here.